ladies have asked me about different types of exercises to do, particularly for arms. You want your arms to look like mine do. Not that mine are just super great, but I've got pretty decent arms. And so I'm going to do a video clip today that has some biceps and triceps exercises. I would recommend that you use at a minimum 5-pound weights up to 15-pound weights. I typically do 3 sets of 12 repetitions. You have to determine based on your own fitness level, your weight, your goals, how many sets and repetitions you're going to do. But I generally do 3 sets of 12. I'm going to use 3-pound weights for this demonstration simply because, well, first of all, I've already done my workout for today, but also just so that you can really see the movement, because form is what's going to be most important with the strength or weight training. So the first exercise is a very basic bicep curl. You should be standing with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to turn your hands with your wrist facing away from you, down by your thighs. So the weight should be down by your thighs. And you'll simply curl up to your shoulders. So from the front, this is what it should look like. Curl up, down by the thighs. Curl up to the shoulders, down by the thighs. Really control the movement so that you can feel it in your bicep. From the side, this is what we're looking like. And you can see my bicep being activated with this being a very controlled movement. So just a basic bicep curl. Alright, I like to alternate between 2 different muscle groups to focus on. So the next one I'm going to work will be a tricep exercise. This is to keep from having that flap waving under your arm. You'll need a chair, bench, or stool. I'm going to use a kitchen chair here. Now, what I'll do for this one is to simply put my right knee and right hand on my chair. I'm going to turn it the other direction so I've got more room. Okay. Right hand, right knee on my chair. The weight will be in my left hand. Now, with the weight, I'm going to lift it up by my breast, close to my rib cage, and if you'll notice, my elbow and my shoulder are in a horizontal line rather, okay? And I'm going to extend from my elbow to make the rest of my arm into a horizontal line. So this is what it should look like. Extend out, come back towards the breast. Extend out from the elbow, back towards the breast. Extend out, back towards the breast. You should see the tricep and you should feel it being activated. Now, you want to be cautious on this exercise. Do not flop. You're not really working the tricep when you do this. You're just flopping your arm. And also, be sure to fully extend. Just doing this really does not fully activate that muscle. So again, you want to make sure you extend into a horizontal line parallel to the floor from the elbow. You'll want to do that on both sides. 12 repetitions, again, that's what I do on both sides. Alright, we're going back to the biceps again. For this one, we're going to do a seated bicep curl. Let me scoot up, well, scoot back so you can really see the chair. Alright, so you're going to sit in your chair, sit on your bench, your stool, whatever it is that you use. Now, for this one, you're going to counterbalance yourself. If you'll take your left hand, put it on your left thigh, this will be your counterbalance. You're going to take your right elbow and put it on the inside of your right thigh and just let the weight hang down close to your calf. Slightly bend forward. This is to protect your back. You're simply going to curl up towards your shoulder blade, towards your shoulder. So I'm curling up towards my shoulder, back down towards my calf. Full extension. Curl up towards my shoulder, back down towards my calf. Again, keep yourself bent slightly forward, protect your back, curling up to the shoulder, back down by the calf. You'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take my right hand, counterbalance on my right thigh. I'm going to take my left elbow, put it inside my left thigh, slightly bent forward. The weight is hanging down by my calf, and I'm simply going to curl up towards my shoulder. Curl up, extend back down towards the calf. Curl up to my right shoulder, extend back down towards the calf. Okay, again, you should see and feel that bicep being activated. All right. Now, we want to alternate again to a tricep exercise. This is a type of overhead tricep extension. It will be to the side. So for this one, there are a couple of ways to do it. I did a variation for myself just to make myself feel good about weight training. But this is the way we're typically going to start. I have my weight on my right side. It's simply hanging by my thigh. And I've got my left hand on my left hip. I'm going to take the weight behind my head. You'll notice again that my arm is parallel from the elbow to the wrist. It's parallel to the floor in a horizontal line. But the weight is behind my head. Let me show you what it looks like behind my head. Okay? Now, I'm simply going to extend the weight out to the side, not the front or back, but to the side. So I lift back down behind my head. Lift. I'm going to step back some so you can see the lift a little bit more. Lift. Lift. Again, you should feel the activation of the tricep. Now what I do for this, I actually put my opposing hand on my tricep so that I can feel that muscle being activated. You may want to keep your hand on your hip just as a counterbalance again, but I just like to feel that muscle move. All right, so if you're lifting, again, make sure you're lifting out to the side, not the front. So I'm going to turn to my side so that you can see the lift. See it this way behind the head. I'm going to turn this way. And lift. Okay. So that's our second tricep exercise. Again, you'll do 12 to 15 repetitions of that depending on how heavy your weight is, and then you'll do the same thing on the other side. You don't want to be a Quasimodo building up one side and have a droopy arm on the other side. All right, our next bicep exercise is what a trainer showed me when I first started working on my arms. She said it's called a Schwarzenegger curl, and it's a standing exercise as well. So again, feet are shoulder width apart. Initially, the weights are with your wrist facing towards your thighs. You're going to lift, and I do these individually, each arm. You're going to lift towards your shoulder again, like a basic bicep curl, but this time you're going to twist in your wrist as you bring your hands up towards, or the weight up towards your shoulders. So, just as a demonstration, I'm going to lift and twist as I come up to my shoulder, and then untwist it as I extend out back down to my thigh. I'll lift in the front of myself and twist towards my shoulder, twist it back out as I extend back down towards my thigh. So I'm lifting and twisting, twisting, extending, lifting, twist the shoulder, twist, extend to thigh. Lift, twist the shoulder, extend, twist the thigh. Lift, towards the shoulder, twist, untwist, extend to thigh. All right. Now, when you use a heavier weight, again, you're definitely going to feel a different area of the bicep being activated as opposed to just a regular bicep curl. All right. And that's what we want. We want to activate different areas of the same muscle to get that really toned, defined look. Gonna pull that up there, that you really want to get, because you see this whole muscle is the bicep here, from here to here. So you want to do different exercises to activate it. All right, now the third exercise we're going to do is another type of tricep extension. It'll be an overhead. I would recommend you use the heaviest weight you possibly can for your overhead. Simply for me, because I'm using both hands to lift the weight. So I usually use a 25 to 30 pound weight for the overhead extension. But if you're just starting that, don't do that heavy of a weight. All right. It's kind of hard to do with this 3 pound because I don't have enough bar in between to grip. But basically, you're going to start with the weight in front of you first, and stacking your hands on the bar part, right? Left over right or right over left. Because I do 3 sets of these, I alternate which hand I use for each set. So I'm going to start with left over right, right? So it's in front of me first, and then I'm going to take the weight behind my head. Now I want you to see what behind my head looks like. Almost down towards my neck. Right? This is what behind the head looks like. Now, one other thing I want you to notice is that you should keep your elbows as close to your head as you possibly can, almost like you're hugging your head. Do not let your elbows flop out like this, because you can hurt your shoulders, hurt your back. All right? So keep your elbows as close as possible to your head. You can see this from the side as well. And you're simply going to lift towards the ceiling for the tricep extension. So behind my head, lift up over my head, back down behind my head, keeping your shoulders, your elbows close to your head. Lift up and step back so you can see, and down. Elbows in, up, and you're activating your shoulders as well with this. Down. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it. Lift up and down. Keep those elbows in. Lift up and down. Again, you should feel the triceps and your shoulders. Up and down. Okay. So again, today we looked at biceps, which is your top muscle here. You want to get that bump, and your triceps, which will keep from having that flap going under there when you wave. You know, when you do your princess wave, your queen wave, you want to not have that flap going on there. So, just as a review, very quickly, bicep curls, tricep extension, seated bicep curl. You have to do each arm for this one. All right, overhead tricep extension. Again, you have to do both arms for this one. Schwarzenegger bicep curls. And then another variation of the overhead tricep extensions. Keeping those elbows in close to your head. So, again, that's biceps, triceps. Next time we'll focus on another upper body muscle group. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message through our group, Eat Well, Eat Often, Exercise Well, Exercise Often. Hope I showed you something that can be of use to you. We want to get those arms beautiful and sexy for the summertime. We want to wear those halter tops and sundresses and things like that. All right, until next time, be happy, be healthy. Love you. Mwah.